Alright guys, welcome back to the table. What do we have this time? What now? What is it? What could it be? Should look somewhat familiar. Ye old glorious map. We have, let me find it here again. What do we have actually? Is this? Is it that? Is it this? Is that? It's this one. This is a scenario based on, it's called The Roads in the Moor. Battle of Quatre Bras. It's the setup. What else? June 16th, 1815. Reconstructs Ney's attempt to push the British out of the vital crossroad linking Neville to Namur while Napoleon was fighting the Prussians at Ligny. After pushing back the Dutch-Belgian troops led by General Perponcher, the French columns advanced. Victory seemed at hand, but the French then encountered the British veterans of the war in Spain, led by Lieutenant General Sir Thomas Picton, who managed to stop the French. Now, we all know, or maybe some of us don't, this map that we're playing on is an Austerlitz map, but the setup is according to the scenario, which kind of screws with the territory, but the victory objectives are the same. We have brigade here, 1st Brigade, 2nd Brigade, and then I suppose that would be what, Ney's troops waiting to enter on the possibly as early as the 3rd turn, not sure yet. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Brigade for the British, no reinforcements for them. More or less the same rules. I think I finally nailed them down, what I'm trying to do here. I know I've done this in the past and said that, but here's tentative rules cover, which I like to make for the house rules. Napoleon's battles, which essentially is the core of what this system is lifted from, so I thought I'd stick with the name out of respect. But it is tweaked. So Fortune and Fate, which Napoleon made the best of both. And as you flip through, this is not something I copy and pasted. I typed and amended and changed and did all this stuff myself. It's all in here. The essential changes, the things that give this flavor, are in here. That being the Sagrada colored dice command system, among other things. And yeah, so I pretty much got this stuff nailed down. Are we even on camera here? I believe so. I even have units listed and typed out, as well as a handy dandy roster sheet. I will post this at some point. Not sure when. It could be tomorrow. It could be 3 weeks from now. When I feel like it's ready for public consumption, I will post this. And so that's what we'll be using. This is chit draw, so there's another tweak. I've always been a fan of the chit draw, so let's just hop into it. It's about 8:37 on a Friday night. Not that that really means anything. This is my Thursday, because I work tomorrow, so off Sunday, Monday. So won't be going through every turn, staying up all night, that type of thing. Just a turn or two, if that. And I thought about doing this live, but again, as it's so late, half or more of my viewers who are in England are asleep, most likely, so looks like the British will go first. I also have new command shits that I made up here. These are battalion commanders, brigade commanders rather, with your commander-in-chief. So I haven't decided on how I wanted to pick these, but I went for ease of depiction. I've gone with the national flag for each side. So British go first. We've already drawn the dice from the dice bag and rolled them up, and what we ended up with was 3 blue, a purple, and a green. And this should be a bit more challenging because there's not quite so many colors in play here. We only have red, blue, and green for the British, and blue and red for the French. So right away we have a command advantage for the British here, but we'll see how that goes. So as it is the British turn, they have a red, a blue, and a green. They need plenty of blue. We'll go ahead and take that one there. Put him here. And as the blue color matches the blue of that brigade, he's good to go. What does he want to do? That is brigade number 2, 2nd brigade. They do have an attack order, which allows them to move one move, and that is amounts to 4 inches. That's what we do these days, 4-inch increments. So we'll pull them up, and they do have a victory objective here, as mentioned, and here, and here. So whoever controls the majority of those by the end of the game wins the pot. So we'll rush up to meet those fellers there. I also have to use these Napoleon's Triumph pieces because they're just beautiful. And the accompanying flags, I need to find or print out more flags for the unit designation. I don't have enough for some reason for the British. 1 of 1, 1 of 2, 1 of 3, 1 of 4. So I need some 4s here and there, and this guy will just move with right about there. Good to go. So there's that. Next shit. French. What are our options? We do have blue. 2nd brigade is blue. We'll take this 4. Go ahead and put that in action. I do believe French 2nd brigade has a maneuver order, which, yes they do. That doesn't really help us much. We can move 2 moves, but we can't move 2 moves such that we are moving into what essentially amounts to a zone of control for these folks, which would be here. We can't, since we have a maneuver order, we can't move closer than 1 move to the enemy unit there. So let's, that essentially means something like that. So if we go, and again, we're doing it this way because we only have, or I should say we have a maneuver order. If we had attack order, it'd be the same way. We'd only be able to move 1 move anyway. But we'll try and change our orders beginning of the next turn. Puts him about right there, close enough. And does he have the so we could put him that close, and then put him about right here. That's as close as we can get with the maneuver order, but that's not bad. And then we can forward him right here, and him right here. So there's our French move. Those that are watching for the first time, to represent column, I pull 1 stick back, and to represent line, I push the stick back in instead of actually spreading them out. Okay. 3 chits left, 2 British, 1 French, and it's British, as I suspected. Who has a red and a green. We don't have red. Now these guys, I forgot to mention, are in reserve, so this green doesn't do us any good. So now we start looking at the numerical values of dice. There's a 5, a 2, and a 1. We'll go ahead and take that 5, put it right here. And because that purple doesn't match the 1st Brigade's red color, we have to roll 2 dice 6. What do we have to beat? We add 5 to 1st Brigade's command value of 3, because it's 8 on 2-6, that means we need 8 or less. Very proud of this method I've come up with, very proud of it. And they pass. They too have a attack order, so that's going to be 1 move for them as well. 1, 2, 3. And the British being kind of bold here, they could handily sit back and wait for the French to come at them, but well, it's better to give than to receive. Wheeling not a huge problem when you're moving. You can wheel a bit at the start of the move, wheel a bit at the end of the move. That's when you don't move and want to wheel that gets a little trickier. Okay. 1 French, 1 British chit left. It is British. British, I say, surprisingly. So numerical value again. We've got a 2 and a 1. I guess I'll take the 2. Actually, though, the British are going to have to pass because these guys are again still in reserve. And for reserve rules, how do they activate it? Did I make this up? Yeah, they can't do anything until the French navy stuff enters the map or on turn 5. So they're just sitting there. Probably shouldn't even have added a chit in a cup. Alright, so that leaves the French, who can choose, and they have a red. No red, just a blue and a green. So we'll take the number 2 blue versus the 1 green. 1st Brigade French leader has not very good leadership modifier. There's a 2, add the 2 for the die is 4. For God's sakes, we need a 4 less. I don't see that happening. And it happened. Cool. Needed a 4 less, rolled a 3. I'll take it. What did they have? They also have, yes, maneuver order. Again, same deal. Can't move closer than that with these folks, so we'll put him right there. Making sure I'm doing this legally. Everything legal. Legal size paper. No, interestingly enough, no artillery for either side, otherwise we would have already done that. Don't have to worry about filling with dice and things like that with artillery. You just do it. These guys can move the full 2, which is awesome because they need to do so. Put some way up here, and these guys. Let's put them right here. What do you think? We do have blunders in this, which I stole from Black Powder. When you roll, if you get double 6s, then I will forever forget this. But anyway, it's in there. You'll roll for blunder. Okay, so that's the first segment of turn 1, which is the fire or move phase. So I need to take one of these out. That leaves 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, 2 red, 2 blue chits. We don't have to do the dice thing again for phase 2. Whoever is in command or activated in turn 1 stays that way through turn 2 if there was somebody that failed, and I represent that with a die on top of the command shit. He would be able to attempt to try again. Everybody passed though, so everybody's happy. We don't have a cavalry in play. We don't have anybody adjacent for melee, so phase 2 is a wash unless somebody wants to wheel. Does anybody need to wheel? Or change formation? Let me think. Nobody needs to wheel, everybody's good. Change formation, I think I leave the French in column. And really, you can do this? Okay. Boom, line, line. That means these British are moving. Line, 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 and everybody's in command, so they can all do this line. British have just changed back into line. I'm gonna do that correctly. Yep, alright, that's turn 1. Or 9 turns altogether, but it brings us to turn 8. Gather all ye dice. Not many. This is a smaller scenario, admittedly, if you can't tell. Typically scenarios are about double this size when I play. But this is about half size, so 4 dice. We have 2 for each side in play, so 4 dice. There's a ton of dice in here. I think like 70, 90 dice that you get with the Sagrada game. And, you know, don't just buy these if you're thinking about doing this. Oh, well, how often would I need them? Trust me, you could use these dice for all kinds of things you never thought you would need them for. Not just this. They're great for markers because of the colors. All kinds of things. Things you never knew they were good for, that you needed them for, you'll be glad you have them. Sagrada game's not that expensive. Just get it for the dice. And the game itself is not bad, Sagrada. There's our 4 dice, 2 green, a blue, and a yellow. So again, still no reds. Let's roll them up. What we got? What do we got? 2 green, obviously a 4 and a 2. A yellow 4 and a blue 2. Not a blue tooth. Blue 2. Let's draw our chits. Chitty chitty bang bang. From British, excuse me, British again. British get the pick of the litter. They need a red, don't have it. Need a blue, got it. That's this right here. This is the first segment of the action phase of turn 2. I use the die and count backwards. So turn 2. That entails fire, or move, or formation change, wheel. I do believe we will be firing as said British folk. I'm going to call that close enough, that close enough, and that not. Let's go ahead and adjust for fire. Right there, right there. Okay, let's start here. We'll be firing at French in column. Could be brutal, we'll see. This is 2nd Brigade, British. Yeah, it's going to be bad. So they already have a +2 modifier because they're badasses. Let's roll it up, see what we get. And I got a 7, pretty good, pretty good. Do our modifiers. So 7, 8, 9 is where we're at now. 10, 11, 12, 13 because they're in line. Remember, we need 11 plus to get anything. Alright, for 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. Target is in column, so 15. 15 on our handy dandy chart means these guys gotta retreateth. Backeth, one moveth. And back they go. They maintain facing, their backs are not turned towards the enemy, they're just pulling back. Pulling back, right there. Next. Same deal, still have a +2 modifier here. If we get on a roll at 2, not very good. I don't think we have it. So that's a 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, just missed it. So that's the end of that. These guys again are out of range. Next chit. Next chit is French, I'll take it. We need a blue or red. Guess what? We don't have that. So then we look at numerical values. We have a 4, 4, and a 2. I'll take this 4. I'll put it... Who has the most shots here? I think we could get 3 shots off here if I pass. So 4 on the die. The leader for 2nd Brigade's value is... Where is it? 3. So 7. 2 die 6, 7 or less, and they can do stuff. They got a 4. They can do stuff. Now here's a question, and this is always a conundrum for me. Do I want to fire while in column, change formation, or it seems like a wasted change formation in the fire phase? Call me crazy. I know I say that a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and fire all 3 of them while still in column. It's probably a waste, but we'll see what happens. Alright, 2nd Brigade, fire value +1. That's something at least. I'm going to need higher rolls here. Not 6. Okay, we'll see. 6, fire value is a 7, 8, 9, and line 10. So missed it. Alright, so that means from now on we're going to need a 7 or higher, because nothing changes from this unit to that unit. So let's try it here. If we can get a 7 or higher, guys. Nope. Roll a 2 and 7 or higher here. Can we get one? We cannot. Roll a 4. So that was a bust all the way around. Draw another shit. Nobody's failed their activations yet. It's going to be the British. We need this guy to do something. There is a 4 and a 2 left. Let's take the 4. 1st Brigade, leadership value of 3. Added to the die of 4 is 7, so 2 die 6, 7 less. There's our first failure. They roll an 8. That's that. That leaves the final French shit and the final colored die, which is a 2. We'll put that there. For French 1st Brigade, leadership value of 2. I think I would remember that. That's a 4. Can we roll 4 or less on 2 die 6? I don't think so, but we did. Pulling it off. I think they had a close call last time too. They rolled a 3. So they can activate. These guys are going to fire. These guys are going to move. You can like it or not like it. That's what I'm doing. They will move right there and stay in column. They will move right there, stay in column. These fellers are going to fire. We'll start with him. They'll move up too, I guess. Come on, move up. Okay. 1st Brigade, fire value of... What is 1st Brigade? We've got, these are just regular line troops. Yeah, sucky line troops with 0 modifier, so it's all die rolls here. And they're in column, so this is going to suck. I think I need a 7 or higher, yeah? 8 or higher, probably. Oh, got an 8. Let's add it up. An 8, an 8, an 8. So 8. 9, 10. Why? So 8 for the die. They have no fire value to add. They're in column, so it's half, which means 2. So 9, 10. Target is in line, so we had 1 more, makes 11. That's enough. We just got it. It's a measly -2 morale check for them, but it's something. So for these guys, awesome. They rolled a 2. We'll see what happens. That is the British 1st Brigade, who has a morale of 5. Let's add it up. Let's erase that 2 because it's a -2. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Guess what, guys? We actually made something out of a morale check for once. I know I've been trying to make myself use these colored cubes, but I'm just addicted. They just show up so well. Now I can't find them. There. To these old school tactical markers, they're just simple, and the colors, and I know exactly what it is. Tactilely, they feel great. So he's shaking. This one. Let's fire at him as well. What do we get? 8 or higher? Give me an 8 or higher. You will not. You will give me a 2. That's what I get. Dice gods hate me. Nothing going for phase 2 unless we want to change formation. Anywhere? No. Wheel? No. Alright. On to turn. Why don't I just do this way? It's less confusing. 3? Turn 3. Alright, let's take these back. Nobody needs to rally. Commander-in-Chiefs probably want to move and join the party. I would imagine. I don't want to go too far up, but let's at least get a better seat. Same here. Let's put him right there. We'll do one more turn and call it an evening. 4 shits back in the cup. Can you hear that? That's the cuckoo clock I was talking about. I got a cuckoo clock for my birthday from my best friend. 1, 2, 4 dice. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, we got a red. A much needed red. No blues, no purples. Nobody's purple anyway. Alright, here's our 4 dice. Roll them up. We have 2 green, a yellow, and a red. I'm not worried about numerical values yet. I'm just worried about... I almost stepped on the cat's tail. I think the whole time I've owned this cat, I've never stepped on her tail. I can't remember ever doing it. I'm very conscious of where she's at. But never say never. Draw a chit. How many chits do we have in here? 2 French because we have 2 in play. 2 for the British because we have 2 in play. Reserve unit, not in play. Nay, not in play. Once they do, we put more chits in, we draw more dice. 1 die for each onboard unit. 1 chit. And you have to do it the chit way. If you do I go, you go, this dice thing doesn't work right. French get first go this time. Thank you. Let's go ahead and happily snag that red. And French are going to do what the French like to do, which is change their orders. Otherwise, they're not doing anything except firing you. So let's cross our fingers they can change an order from maneuver to attack. To change an order, we need to roll 1 die 10 and add that to the 1st Brigade Commander's order value. Where is he at? Of the stinking 2. 7, 8, 9. Nope, they don't change their orders, so we're going to be firing. Can't move any closer because we have a maneuver order. Maybe something will happen here. Alright, first unit to fire gets a 7. I don't think that is enough. I think we need 8s, right? 7, no fire value for unit 1. No, so 7, 8, 9, yeah, 10. We need 8s. Next unit. A 2, had an 8 and dropped to a 2 at the last minute. 8 or higher. 5. And finally, something, anything, an 8. Which is another -2 morale test, I believe. Why did that do that? I need that back on. Thank you. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's a -2 morale check. Let's see what he gets. First Brigade, morale of 6. Nope, morale of 5. Roll a 9. I'm going to say he has that, but I'll have it anyway. 9. 15, 18. Yep, he's got that. So they passed him morale check. Next shit. Bullshit. French again. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We'll take that yellow 6. Put it over here on blue 2nd Brigade. 6 plus 2nd Brigade leader's order value of 3. Yes. Yes. So, 9 or less. And we got a 6, so we're good to go. Now we need to try and change their orders. At least I'd like to. I want to switch from maneuver to attack. Again, we'll roll 1d10. Oh, I think we got it. 9. What's that 2nd Brigade? Come on, y'all. Yep, we got it. 10, 11, 12. We need 11 or higher, so we can change their orders from maneuver to attack, which means we can move in closer. Change that there. Let's go ahead and do that. Now we can do what the French like to do, which is, Yep, let's go ahead and, it won't be anything right now, but the next phase it will. We'll have some heavy melee fighting going on here, close combat rather, and I can use him for support, yes, yes. And this guy will just move 1. So he can move with an attack order. He'll move, you know, let's be conservative here and put him right there. Okay, that's it. Next hit, bolts are British. Let's go ahead and pull those. Not looking good for the old Brits here. They got no greens they can use, so now we look at numerical values. There's a 2 and a 1. Awesome. Let's roll. Put the 2 here. Remember, this is the fire phase. First Brigade leader 3 plus 2 is 5. They get 5 or less. They do not. Put that on top so we know that they failed and can try again in phase 2. They're doing nothing, and then these guys probably aren't doing anything. With a numerical value of 1 there, added to 2nd Brigade's order value of 4 is 5 as well. 5 or less. 7. Nope. Fail, 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 fail. Alright, phase 2. Shit's back in the cup. And this could be big. French go first, and they do. French go first. They've already passed, so they're command checks in phase 1. So let's start here. See what we can get. This is 2nd Brigade with a melee value of nothing. Why? Why do they have a melee value of nothing? Because they stink. We'll get +2 for support though. So 4, not good, not good, not good. I already committed to the support, so I'm not going to cheat and change it. So 4, no melee value per infantry or cavalry figure in the unit. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Drops to 1. We got a morale check out of that. It stinks. Well, we wanted to do better, but we did get a morale check out of that. Let's go ahead and check him. 7. That is 2nd Brigade. No, 6, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Drops back down to 15. He's fine. Junk, 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 junk. Junk, junk, junk. Let's go here. See if we fare any better. I should be attaching commanders to single units and getting modifiers, but I'm stupid and don't do that. Alright, here we go. Give me something. No, 1. That's an automatic failure. 10 is automatic success. 1 is an automatic failure, so that was terrible. Saves you from having to add anything up. We had an opportunity there to do something. And we did nothing. Okay. So now you asked, did the British get to respond? Well, that's a good question. Typically I would say yes. So we'll write a note. You can defend in melee, cannot attack, but you can defend. Who's next anyway? It doesn't matter because let's draw it shit. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Okay, it is the British, so they failed, so they get to try. I guess it doesn't matter because I thought I had all this locked down. What's the problem here? The problem is if you fail your activation in the first phase, there's a chance to re-roll it in the second phase. But is that superfluous? Because if I allow, yeah, you would still need to, because if you wanted to attack or do a cavalry charge, you would need to be in command. So you still need to roll to do that. However, you would not need to defend in melee. I mean, they're not going to not respond in hand-to-hand because they didn't make their activation rules. So let's go ahead and resolve this. We'll start with this unit here. But again, to attack in melee or a cavalry charge, I would need to pass that activation. There we go. Figured that out. Roll this up. They're in line. Remember that, which is not good for close combat. So 3, that is 2nd Brigade. Melee body at +1, so 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. You know what? They didn't get it. That leaves this 1. You gotta do better than 3, dude. I need to work. So add this up. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's gonna drop back down to 12 because the French are in column. They did get it. 12 is -4 morale check on them. Wow, now you roll a 2, so their morale is a 4. So we'll axe that because it's a -4 morale check and just say 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they got nothing. They are disordered. No doubt. No way around it. That's what's happened there. Okay. Whew. What's left? Thought I had a major problem there with rules mechanics, but no, I didn't. Alright, French. Think. Well, they can't move, which is what I'd like to do. Can't fire because this is not the fire phase, so I don't know what the hell. Change formation and go into line and just start firing? I don't think so. There's no point. Pass? I may actually pass here. I think I'm gonna pass. And then the final shit is British. These guys did fail their activation in order to... Well, they couldn't move anyway because they're in line. Only thing they can do because they failed their order is defend in melee. Let's go ahead and roll to see if they pass their activation. First Brigade, 3 plus 2 is 5 or less. What was 6? I was going to see if I could lose that shaking marker by passing their activation, but that's it. Alright, that brings us to turn 4. Let's clean this off. And recap. Alright, so not a whole lot going on. No losses. We did have a unit retreat for the French over here. We had a couple failed activations. We've got some shaken or disordered units, one for each side. French have moved in and forced close combat here. An attempt to break through and get one of those objectives. And would have liked to made better progress here. But if you remember, I think they did start further back. I know these guys did. Also, these guys are still in reserve, so nothing they can do until those guys come on at turn 3, which I failed to roll for. Awesome. Let's do that now, shall we? And see if they were going to come on. So 3. That's pretty stiff. On a 10-sided die, if I roll a 1 or a 2, no, an 8. So they wouldn't have come on anyway. Well, I can roll that again next turn and see. So they could possibly come on the next turn, and if you think I'm going to race over here and try and activate or fight them, you got to be kidding me. I'm going to head straight for these 2 objectives and try and hold them until the infantry of the 2nd Brigade can push through and meet me and relieve the cavalry. But even if I do that, again, this is all conjecture. Assuming they activate next turn, force over here, that brings them on, so it's going to be a race against the clock as they move to reinforce, and these guys trying to push through. I don't know. I'm not a prophet. I don't know what's going to happen. These guys here, put these back in the cup. But there you go. What do you think? Let me know. Fairly proud of this. I know I've created all kinds of Frankenstein's monsters doing this stuff and systems galore, systems, and try this, try that. There's something about this that feels legitimate. It doesn't feel unrealistic or whimsical. I almost gave up on this Sagrada colored dice system until I figured out a way to tie it into leaders' stats and make it more realistic. So that saved me. I like it. I dig it. It feels right. I don't know. Maybe I've said that before too. Let me know what you think. Honestly, guys. I mean, if you've watched this far or you've watched in the past, give me your opinion. What you think. Again, I'll be posting those rules at some point. I'll give you a heads up when I do. Have a good weekend. We'll talk soon. Hopefully, you guys be safe out there.